Okay, hello. I'm back. And today we're still going to do some more bandaging, wrapping, first aid type things. One thing that I'd like to talk about, let's say somebody has an eye injury, they have something in their eye. It's very, very dangerous. And what you need to do then is you need to cover both eyes. Okay? And then you're going to want to just wrap right around it. The reason that we cover both eyes is that it's a fancy word, I'm not going to get into it, but you have parasympathetic eye movement. Basically, if this eye is covered, this eye moves around, this eye is still going to move. So we want to cover them. And I'm talking like a piece of metal or something. Things do happen, slivers. You know, you really want to cover both. That is a medical emergency. Get them to the hospital via ambulance. Call 911 and get them there right away. And the other thing I want to talk about along that lines is head injury. Now, if somebody hits their head, we did go ahead and protect. We put the ice on. Let's say they have a big gash on their head, which unfortunately happens. Okay? And what I'm going to show is how to wrap it. Okay? Again, you want to take that 4x4. You don't want to touch it. You want to pick it up like this. Put it where the injury is. You want to then hold it. Take this. Put it right over it. And when you wrap, I'm going to show you the way. You want to go around the lower part of the brain. You guys can laugh at this. I'm going to look like somebody from the 1776 movie. But the reason we do it this way is that it's going to hold. Because the back of the head has that little notch in it. And that's going to hold it on a little bit. And then you just keep wrapping. Now also, I'm pulling. I can't get it up. Okay? Because I've got that notch in the back protected. It does happen. You know, little sisters, brothers can be on the playground, smack their heads, fall in the backyard, even you. You know, say if you're on a sailboat and somebody doesn't yell when the boom moves, you might get hurt. So, just saying, we have to be prepared and kind of have a little bit of idea of what to do. The other thing I'd like to talk about is a little bit more splinting this time. And let's say you think you broke your finger at the knuckle or at this knuckle or even in between, or it could be dislocated. Popsicle sticks, my friends, are the best thing to use. Again, you want to go above and below the injured site, okay? And the best way to do it is take some tape, put it above the injury, like so. And I always leave a little tab on the end so it's easier to take off. And then you want to do the same thing and go below it, come up around, and that will get you to have some protection. You can do that on toes too if you need to. And popsicle sticks work great. So that's something I would recommend for you. We all have those in the house. Uh-oh. It's the other bad thing about demonstrating bandaging, guys. Well, I guess that's going to stay on for a while. So the other thing I'd like to bring up to your attention, and if you can hear my camera woman, my wife's in the background snorting and laughing, is let's say that you have a knee injury, okay? Again, you can use something like a calendar. And I'm going to walk to the side. You want to go just like this, above and below, wrap it from the bottom and up here, and do not let them walk on it. Now, one thing I want to bring up that's very, very important is if, this is worse than the old Chinese thumb cuffs that lock you in. One thing I did want to say is if somebody does, you think they have a broken bone or something, make sure they can wiggle their fingers a little bit, but you want to press here. And the color is going to pop back. Now my fingernails are dirty, I was working in the garden, but if you press down and color pops back, that's a really good thing. If you don't see any, that's a really bad thing, okay? That means that there's a blood vessel or a vein or an artery blocked somehow, and that's really bad. Now, if it's an open wound, which they do happen, again, you do not want to put anything on it. You just cover it, you want to wrap it and splint it. Okay, you don't want a lot of pressure on it, you want to cover it because an open wound injury can be bone sticking out. Okay? And that can be deadly because infection, guys, can get in there so fast you don't even realize it. because we don't know. And again, just cover it lightly and then wrap it and splint it, and that is a medical emergency if there's a bone exposed. I'd like to talk, a lot of us fish around here, being by the ocean. Now, fish hooks. I'm not going to demonstrate this one, guys. But a fish hook has a barb on the end. They have a little hook, all right? You know how they're shaped, and they have at the end, they have a little hook that goes up into the mouth of the fish. Those, like, see, you got the little hook. All right, anyway, you never want to try to pull that hook backwards. One, it's going to get caught up, and it's going to pull some of the flesh, and it can be really bad, especially if it's a big one. All right, so what you do, you have two options. One, get to the hospital. Or, if you're out on a boat and you can't, most people carry wire cutters with them. You cut it up at the little loop at the top of that hook, and then you can just slide it right through. I know that sounds gross, but it's better than walking around with a hook in your finger for 4 hours when you're out there. Plus, you don't know what was really on that hook, and then you need to use some alcohol wipe or something on there, and you do need to get it checked out, okay? Fish hooks are big down here in Florida. I've seen them hooked up in the face. I've seen them hooked everywhere. I've seen them hooked in the arms. And you know, those charter fishermen have those big, huge honking hooks, and you know, can be very dangerous or deadly depending on what hits you. Now, another thing is, you know, let's say that you really hurt your hand up here. All right, this is going to sound really goofy. Take a sock, or you can take some material, lay it in the hand like that. Okay, baseball even works. All right, because you want the hand kind of in this position. And then you want to start wrapping. You're going to go from here and go all the way up. Again, start at the bottom, work up, and make sure that they still have some feeling and everything in their fingers. That's very, very important. Same if it's a leg or something like that. Another issue that kind of happens around, well, it's happened at my house, is, you know, we'll be outside and we start getting really, really hot. I'm talking real hot. There's a disease